Bismillah Irrahman Irrahim. In the name of God, the tenderly compassionate, the infinitely merciful. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace be with you, and good morning. My name is Fran, and I'm happy to be here with you all today. And I would like to say thank you very much for this wonderful invitation to speak with you about the K-W Unity Mosque, how we came to be, and how we function as a gender-equal, LGBTQ plus affirmative, inclusive mosque. Now, some of you may remember me from my earlier days as Miss Fran, Lynn, the host of CTV's Romper Room television show. My life has changed greatly from those busy days when I was hosting, writing, and producing the TV series. These days, I feel very fortunate, honored, and blessed to be the co-founder and coordinator of the K-W El Tawhid Juma Circle Unity Mosque, which is a long name, so we shorten it to the K-W Unity Mosque, which is the only, to our knowledge, gender equal and LGBTQ plus affirmative mosque in Waterloo region. I would like to tell you about the origin of our mosque, and to do this, I need to tell you a bit about my own journey with Islam. I reverted to Islam 10 years ago, after having been raised a Roman Catholic, and after searching for answers to my spiritual questions for many decades. I was fortunate to receive instructions from female Muslim teachers who taught me about Islam in weekly halakas. And a halakha is like a circle, a teaching circle, for a year and a half before I reverted. Islam filled me with joy and peace, energy and hope, and was the answer to the questions that I had struggled with. But as I continued to attend prayer at the Waterloo Masjid, and a masjid is a mosque, and also at the Kitchener Masjid, I became increasingly concerned about the physical and spiritual barriers imposed upon women. Women were not allowed to pray with the men in the large, beautifully decorated main hall of the Waterloo Masjid. Instead, we were squeezed into another stuffy small room where the only way of participating in prayer was to watch the gathering on a TV monitor that sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. There were so many barriers to encounter. Women could not offer the call to prayer. Women could not present the sermon. Women could not lead the prayer, although we have strong evidence that some women did lead the prayer in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. I was also greatly dismayed by other issues of gender inequality and gender injustice at the Waterloo Masjid, my home mosque. There were no female members of the board of directors. There were very few women in the masjid's official membership, and the men seemed not at all interested in increasing the female membership. And as time went on, I realized that as a Muslim, a feminist, and a proud LGBTQ plus ally, my heart, head, and soul longed to gather with others in an inclusive gender space and an LGBTQ plus affirmative spiritual space where I could pray and commune without barriers, physical or spiritual. I needed to find what the poet Rumi calls a gathering of lovers, where I could pray on equal ground and where I could be authentic to myself and authentic to God. I realized that if I accepted and went along with the patriarchal and misogynistic aspects of dominant culture Islam, then I would be complicit in my own alienation and isolation from God. So I had to break free. Having experienced patriarchal mosques and having had the door shut on me when I tried to bring gender equality to them, I realized something important. If you can't reclaim sacred space, you have to create it. The concept of starting my own mosque was a bit daunting, to say the least. And so I began a search to find out if there was anyone else in Canada who felt as I did and had an inclusive mosque where everyone was welcomed and affirmed. And that's when I Googled and found El Farouk Kaki. The brave and brilliant El Farouk Kaki is the co-founder and imam of the Toronto Unity Mosque. With his partner Troy and friend Dr. Laurie Silvers, El Farouk established the Toronto Mosque in May of 2009. And now there are El Tawhid Juma Circle Unity Mosques in cities right across Canada, including Vancouver, Calgary, Ottawa, and Halifax. In November of 2016, when I heard that El Farouk was going to be speaking as part of a panel at the Kitchener Public Library, I felt a calling. And so I attended the event and spoke with him afterwards. And there was an instant spiritual affinity. Just days later, on November the 10th, 2016, the K-W El Tawhid Juma Circle Unity Mosque was born. Now officially today, we have 34 members and are slowly growing with each passing month. Alhamdulillah, thanks be to God. At our warm and welcoming Friday afternoon gatherings, we meet for tea, prayer, and spiritual conversation. And we include Muslims as well as those who do not identify as Muslim, and also their family members, partners, friends, seekers, and allies. We offer a space where individuals can explore their spirituality without judgment. And often our gatherings are a refuge for those who have experienced spiritual trauma due to being perceived as different or having different beliefs. At the K-W Unity Mosque, we celebrate diversity and inclusivity, and we believe that the inherent dignity of every human being is God-given. Everyone is welcomed and encouraged to take a turn in each aspect of our prayer gatherings, especially women, who are asked to take on roles traditionally only allotted to men, including giving the call to prayer, presenting the sermon or khutbah, and actually leading the prayer. We are egalitarian without a patriarchal hierarchy, and we believe in the concept of shared authority, for you see, we all have something to teach and something to learn. My friends, I want you to know that even though I have stepped away and started a new mosque, I am very pleased and proud to be a Muslim, and I love Islam. Islam is at the core of my being, and it is my joy and practice. I believe that what we are doing at the K-W Unity Mosque is practicing Islam in its original manner, practiced by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. As the Prophet stated, quote, "Women are the twin halves of men." He believed very much in giving women rights that were previously denied to them. In the days before Islam, women were treated like slaves and property. The practice of female infanticide was widespread. Women could not own property. They were not allowed an education. And in times of war, women were treated as part of the spoils. But with the dawning of Islam came the verses from the Quran that strongly condemned female infanticide. So approximately 1400 years ago, the Quran instructed men to live with women honorably and forbade men to inherit women against their will. Islam decreed that women have the right to accept or reject any prospective marriage partner, have the right to negotiate their own marriage terms, and guaranteed a woman's right to keep her own last name after marriage. Prophet Muhammad declared that women not only have an equal right to education, but obtaining knowledge is essential. As Muslims, women have the same responsibilities towards God and other human beings as men have, and we will be judged on the day of judgment irregardless of our gender. In Islam, a woman's husband is not her master. A Muslim woman has only one master, and that is Allah. In our holy book, the Holy Quran, there is no verse that states the women cannot be imams. Indeed, there is historical precedence. The Prophet's own wife, Waraka, who was a very pious woman, used to lead her own household in prayer, including the men. And so what we are doing at the Unity Mosque when women lead the prayer is not innovation, but going back to the very early days of Islam, when an educated and pious woman led the men of her household in prayer, and when women stood side by side with men as together they prayed. My friends, it has been an honor to pray with you today here at this beautiful facility, and it has been my great pleasure to share with you today a bit of information about Islam and our K-W Unity Mosque. I ask Allah to shower each and every one of you with blessings, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Assalamu alaikum.